Hey everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of the Velvetcast.
Hello, hello.
Yay.
As as per usual, I'm your host, Mitch, and I'm joined with my best buds, Sora and Josh.
Hello.
You flatter us.
I do, for now, while you remain useful to me. But before we get started on anything for this episode, I did want to make a quick channel announcement regarding one of our more popular series, Persona 4 or 5, Persona 5. It's been a week since Gangmudo left the channel, and for some of you guys, you know, it was kind of a weird situation to be in, because obviously, you know, Gang is my other half for that series and such as that, and you know, we had to have a talk here in the channel about what was going to happen with that series. And all I will try to say for right now is I'll keep you posted as we come up with the plan. Currently, the plan is, instead of doing it as a regular Velvet Room show, what we're going to do is we're going to, I'm going to turn the voices back on, and I'm going to play it at my own leisure through Twitch streams. and that way, because I know that, what was it? Cucumber Jackie, one of our admins, had mentioned the idea that, like, you know, they still want to see all the reactions and stuff from my end, at least. And so, we were thinking about doing it so where if you're a patron, because we need to find a way to incentivize the patrons too. If you are a patron to the channel, you get access to these live streams, and then when I was done recording them, I'd go through them and make like a highlight reel of all the fun stuff that happened during the episode, and I'd also have them archived in case we ever felt like uploading them later in the future. Josh and Sora, I'm not sure if I actually explained that plan to you, now that I think about it.
No, we went over it. Yeah.
Oh, does that sound good?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. Yeah. Yes.
I had to make sure. I don't know.
Sounds like as solid of a plan as any, given the circumstances. So yeah.
Well, yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. But also, just so you guys know that, you know, if for all future announcements of the show, Velvetcasts are your place to go. That rhymed. I didn't mean for it to. And also, you know, the show must go on. We actually brought in a lot more people in, and you know, it's looking like it's going to be a fun ride. So, yeah, that's all my channel announcements, I think, for this week.
Cool.
Stream. I'm streaming something on Tuesday. I'm streaming Life is Strange. I should have said something.
Yay, Life is Strange, episode 2.
So yeah, okay. Now the show stuff's done. Next time on the Velvet Room.
Sora.
We're done. Oh, we're out. All right, cool. Thanks, guys.
Very short episode. Sora, what are you streaming this week?
I will be streaming more Hollow Knight for now. Dishonored 2 is still we're still experiencing technical difficulties with Dishonored 2, and I had a lot of fun with Hollow Knight, so I'm gonna kind of zone out and play some more this week. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy me.
Hell yeah. You know, it's God, I love the streams. I love the streaming situation with that. Because I saw a bit of your Hollow Knight stream. That looked like it was fucking fun.
Dude, it's a really special game. It's probably my favorite game of this year that I haven't beat yet. So,
high praise.
Yeah, it's really good. I enjoyed it a lot, and I think it's really good for stream because it's just all gameplay, so I can just kind of zone out and chat and also fuck up. You know what I mean? Like it's good. I'm getting into a flow with it. So yeah, I'll be continuing on with this one.
Yeah. Actually, can I say something about the game I streamed yesterday?
Oh yeah.
Night in the Woods. That is a game.
Yeah.
that is darker than I thought.
Yeah, I wasn't able to catch it. So how are you liking it so far? That's been one I've been meaning to play.
I'm sorry, guys. I know that you guys are seeing episodes 3 and 4 of My Hero Academia on the screen right now. But, dude, I played it for like an hour yesterday. I had a fucking blast. Like it was.
Oh man.
I feel a little awkward still doing solo streams. Like sadder streams are always weird because I don't really know how to feel with solo streams. Like it, like,
Sure.
but at the same time, like the game is just really good. I'm like I really got into like the music and the aesthetic and everything of the game.
I heard really good things about it.
I'm so looking forward. Like now that I have like a series, like I'm like, oh shit, like I'm super looking forward to like the next Saturn stream.
That's awesome.
Like. Yeah, but anyway, but all show stuff aside, we got some important stuff. We got some plus ultra to talk about.
Oh hell yeah!
All right. So it's already up. So so we watched My Hero Academia episodes 3 and 4, and we actually watched it dubbed this time because we learned a valuable lesson. Y'all will vote when you don't have to watch it.
So the plan going forward
right.
is so I guess what happened week 1 was that, in the Discord we put up, all right, should we watch the subbed or dubbed? And then subbed, like, it was close, and then subbed edged it out by a few votes. We're like, all right, well, let's watch it subbed. And then we started watching it, and then there was only like 5 people in the Velvetcast, which is fine, I guess, but like it's like, why are you voting if you're not gonna come and watch?
Yeah, 27 people enter, 5 people remain.
Right. So I guess the plan going forward is like this week, and I guess the weeks going forward, we're just gonna we'll just all. How about you just like open the Velvetcast up a few minutes early, and people who are there can vote if we want to watch sub or dub, and then we'll just go week by week.
It's like the voting problem is like the opposite of like the American political system, where not enough people vote. Like, what the heck, guys?
Too many people vote. Too many. There's too much. There's too much freedom. Too many rights.
Oh my gosh.
No, but like I genuinely like these episodes are fucking solid, and episode 3 might be one of my favorite episodes of the series.
I honestly would agree. Holy shit! So I guess we should, from the top, you should give a quick summary of what happened in these 2 episodes.
Okay, in episode 3, I'm gonna call him Green Naruto. I forgot his name.
Izuku or Deku.
Okay, so Deku is going to. We find out that Deku is actually going to inherit All Might's quirk, and it's kind of this big mystery as to how the quirk works exactly. But we know that it's able to be passed on, and so in order to make in order for Izuku to say the phrase "My body is ready," he has to train for like 10 months. And he has to move all the garbage off of a beach, and it's pretty intense. He's working out and everything, and he's I think
he gets jacked.
Yeah, and then he becomes Rock Lee. But I think my favorite line in the entire episode was the line of "This was you 10 months ago when you were crying."
Yeah. He just shows the picture of him just bitching out on the fucking river. It's so good.
Like I want to take that line out of context for everything. Oh, this is a picture of you 10 months ago when you were crying. Jesus.
Oh man.
The episode is super solid though. Like you get this, you really get a sense of his determination for everything. If Rock League had his own anime, this is what it would be.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's so I think
like I'm still of 2 minds on like this development though, I guess.
How do you mean?
Just because, it's like the repeal of like Rock Lee is that, he's specifically just a taijutsu user, right?
Right. He's still
being really good at being like, crappy at like other things other than just being, the all effort guy.
Well, I thought the whole idea with Rock Lee was that like he was good with taijutsu because he only could do taijutsu. Like he didn't have a knack for it. Like his bot, like in that sense, like the training and shit that like Rock Lee's character goes through is in my mind very similar to what Izuku does.
Oh, sure.
And like I love the All Might mentor relationship between.
Oh, absolutely! It's probably one of the reasons why like the series is bearable instead of being like really generic and trashy.
Oh yeah.
Well, it is just like it. There's just the small little moments with Deku's growth that like kind of set him above that for me personally puts him above most other shonen action protagonists, and that like even after he like finishes the training and like just in time with a few minutes to spare, and like, you know, All Might saying like, all right, like you're ready to inherit my power, like you did it, you're like you earned it. And he's just like, you know, like laughing and crying to himself, being like, oh, I'm just so lucky, like I completely lucked out by you believing in me or whatever. Like he's immediately like All Might says it himself, like he can't believe he's worried about that when he just spent the last 10 months basically in hell, like trying to improve himself. You know, he still feels like he's such a small, like he still feels like he has so much left to go, you know, and he doesn't really have this sort of cockiness about him that I feel like a lot of other protagonists have. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you know, you compare it to Naruto, and Naruto's pretty, you know, it's endearing, but he's pretty cocky and self-absorbed about being. I think
it's rare that like characters that are like main characters wear their vulnerabilities on their shoulder.
Right, like they're very like Deku's just so humble compared to most protagonists. I feel like.
It's like Naruto is plenty vulnerable, but at the same time he hides it all behind, you know, being a bratty kid.
I feel like if Hinata was the protagonist of an anime, and
maybe that's
and evil Naruto with his explosive hands, his confidence is too high.
So you just take like Naruto and Sasuke and like, you know, smash them together.
Yeah. It's the worst of both worlds. No, I to cover specifically episode 3, you reach the halfway point of that episode, right? And it doesn't feel like it. It feels like you watched a full 20-minute episode because of all that's happening. It's very compact. It's very in a good way. Like, it's a full arc of something. It almost like watching a Steven Universe episode, where where that 10 minutes feels pretty fucking packed. And
Hiroaka is very streamlined, I feel.
And there's just this. I love. Also, real quick, Chris Sabat, the voice actor for All Might.
Holy shit, dude! The MVP right there. Like he does such a good job. I love that voice so much.
He when we were rabbit casting, you had mentioned that like when he was crushing like the refrigerator, or he was crushing that container. You know, there was strain in his voice. Like in a lesser production, the line would have been delivered just as normal, like as it always had been. Right, and I might not even. You wouldn't even like. It wouldn't even been noticed. I guess, you know, like I wouldn't have been like, oh, like that voice doesn't sound realistic if he didn't do that, but. It's just like that little extra detail and effort really does go to show, like not only, you know, Chris Sabat's voice work, but also frankly Funimation's like voice direction too. You know. Oh yeah. Funimation's fucking solid. I kind of regret not being subscribed to their Funimation specific video service, because all their dubs are available there. And the last big one I watched was Death Parade, and that one was fucking solid. Like, is it? All right, I should check it out. Oh, even if you don't watch the dub, check out Death Parade. It's fucking great. Super off topic. Well, you don't have a thumbnail for that. No. But yeah, no. This like the episode 3 in itself is just really fucking great. I love because episode 3 also has just to double check, because we watched these we watched these about like an hour before the Velvetcast starts. That's the episode also where the mic guy was introduced, right? Yep. The exam ends, or what? No, sorry, the episode ends when the exam's about to begin, right? Pretty sure. Yeah. So like that, I love that bit. I love the idea that he's a DJ that can't get anyone like riled. Yeah, the crowd. Well, I mean, like, what are you expecting? Like, these kids are here for an exam, probably the most important they've ever taken in their lives. You know, like, if we went to like our SATs or ACT tests, and like the exam proctor was like, "All right, like, who's pumped? You guys ready?" No, that's real. That's real. No, oh my god. I love how Josh really just shined in this episode. I think that he. Oh, this is where we're introduced to Josh, our favorite character, Josh. Yes. Yeah, Josh. What is his name? Ida, that's right. Yeah. Dude, the way Ida was introduced in this episode, I thought I was going to hate Ida. Like, I just was like, oh, I'm not about with this guy's attitude, you know, like how he's just like, oh, excuse me, you forgot to mention a fourth
Becca on this rule sheet. What? You know, like I don't know. Like I guess
these
it's my
are the things that I
personal.
hate the most about people when they say, like you know that you're like mumbling sometimes, but at the same time, it's like people who like really like call you out on it and tell you stop mumbling.
Right. No, like that. Like, and then yeah, exactly. He calls fucking Deku out for mumbling. Like, please stop mumbling. Like, it's distracting us. And then like everyone starts laughing at Deku. Like, I would just collapse into a ball of self anxiety, man. Like, what the fuck's your problem, Ina? Fuck you.
Hey, hey, Josh went through a lot in his life. and he demands a certain level of respect.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
I have to live up to like my lineage, man.
Yeah, that's it.
That being said, I mean, like, this is obviously in future episodes, but I do grow to like Ida a lot. Like, he gets some solid character development, but like, not a good first impression for my part personally.
Well, I assume that like that he eventually like becomes a better character.
Yeah.
But like. The whole setup for the exam, like I was surprised that it was like, oh yeah, so you're done with your last day of training and the exam is like right after that. Like I'm surprised that he's not gonna fucking collapse.
Right. Well, I mean, All Might planned it out exactly, right? Yeah, he probably should have collapsed after, you know, cleaning up that beach. Holy shit.
Like, at least make it like oh yeah, it's gonna be tomorrow or something. Like not like yeah, the day of. Oh cool, you finished your 6 a.m. giant workout. Now we have to go take your gym class. Like fucking kind of to move on to episode 4. That exam though.
Yeah.
Fucking
yeah.
In my opinion, there's always that one scene in an anime that makes it like that's like an iconic scene. In Naruto, it's the one where he summons all the shadow clones and beats the shit out of that dude.
One dude.
I don't remember
Haruka Sensei in the back, right?
That exact scene, right? There's always that scene early on that defines a character or a series, because that's the scene that people always go back to remember something if they have very minimal information about it. I know, it's hard for me to pick one for One Piece, but most anime have that. For me, I think if there was ever like an early episode kind of screenshot you want to show someone who's really into like action anime, it's the one where fucking Deku destroys an entire machine with his fucking arm.
Yeah, holy shit, dude! His first smash, his
first one punch.
It was a pretty fucking epic moment, and I like how it actually has some consequence to it. You know, like it has all of the hypeness of like a super overpowered anime move, but he doesn't get out of jail for free, basically.
Oh yeah,
right? Like he totally wrecks. Not only does he wreck his arm because his body can't handle All Might's power, but he also just totally completely destroys his legs too. So just to jump up that high, so. Obviously he has no control here, but it's still showing how much power, like overflowing power that he has right now.
And it's 1%, right? It's just 1 bit of the power.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a glass cannon that's overpacked with gunpowder.
Yeah, pretty much.
Blows up.
Oh man. Like I will say that like I look forward to seeing how the power develops, because it has, okay, I'm going to use Katsukyo Hitman Reborn, right, for an example. So Suna is kind of a similar character to Deku. And they both had these kind of crazy powers. For Suna, it was the dying will bullet, and for Deku, it's all for one. And so like I think how they everyone here has at least knows that Suna at some point stops becoming the underwear clad super powered version of himself and eventually becomes he becomes like the version where that has more control over it, and it makes him look super fucking cool. So I think in my mind it's like, okay, at some point Deku's going to get to that point, right? Like he's going to have a power that's going to, or he's going to develop a technique or something that will help him achieve like a heightened power, or a heightened sense of abilities without the fallback, or without the consequence, I should say.
Putting a nozzle on that fire hose.
Like, well,
Yeah.
I guess I'm kind of just speaking out of like my experience with shonen series. Like all series kind of do that, where it's like, there's like, you know, this character has a power. Let's take Naruto again. Like Naruto has the nine-tailed fox, but when he activates it, he loses control of himself, and he's super powerful and shit. And then eventually he learns how to control it, and that's what makes him super powerful. Is a sense of control. Ichigo has a hollow inside of him. And if he lets the hollow out, he becomes super powerful. But you know, he has to learn how to control it. It's it's shonen repeats itself.
Yeah, it's all just essentially
you know,
a riff off of like Berserk mode, basically.
Part of it is it's like with Hiroaka, you start with like the Berserk mode. You know exactly how strong it is, which is very strong. But at the same time, you understand that the fight's over as soon as like he uses it for him.
Yeah.
So instead of being like this like get out of jail free card, you know, it's something where you want to see him sort of figure his way around it, I guess.
Yeah, because the consequence is so high.
Because if you remember in like Bleach and Naruto, you know, like the nine-tailed fox or like the Hollow Mask comes out whenever Ichigo or Naruto get into real trouble after the fight's already begun.
I definitely look forward to seeing how the power develops. Kind of to backtrack back to the episode. I super love the fact that like he didn't beat a single one worth a point. He
got no battle points, 0 battle points.
I love that. I love the fact that like, because kind of to go back to tropes, because I feel like every time we're going to talk about this series, we're going to talk about the tropes.
Well, because it is pretty tropey, you know, but it just
this is how tropes should be done. Like these are well executed tropes. These like,
I mean, tropes are tropes for a reason, because usually they're really strong storytelling devices if you know how to use them.
And like it's just everything's just fucking well executed. Everything's just really well done. Like all the characters are likable to a degree. Looking at you, Josh. All the characters are likable. And you know, I feel like the cast is fun. Everything's fun about the show. Like I really enjoy it. And like with the exam episode, it was just really cool to kind of see all the different powers kind of work and how like I like the idea that some of the quirks have offensive capabilities, but you're not entirely sure like what they do. Like Ida, when he was running around, right? He had like those like engine blocks in his legs.
Yep, that's quirk, just having engine legs.
like I'm like, okay, so is he like he's not, so in my mind I'm like, okay, is he like a Flash, or is like he like, you know, like what's his deal? And so like I like that the quirks are kind of, the user is what makes them great, and that's why I like Deku so much, is because I feel that he's gonna develop, because he's a super smart character to begin with, right? So like So like I like the idea that this battle, like this strategist, right, is going to start implementing these powers and stuff, and like I want to see him like make workarounds, and so that he could avoid not using the powers because he knows that it's gonna fuck him up.
You know, I think Hiroaka reminds me a lot of this one Shonen Jump manga series called MX0.
Oh my god, Mitch
actually has read this also, and it's like.
MX Hero?
Yeah, MX0 is a series about like sort of a magic school, and kid basically ends up accidentally into the magic school and faking that he has like, you know, the strongest powers there, except he has none and no ability whatsoever. So he gets through this entire, like he gets through and fakes that he's like the best, you know, magic user, just by like using his brains to like figure his way out of situations.
Yeah, no, God, I remember that one.
I actually thought that Hiroaka would take that route before episode 3, actually.
Fuck. Is there anything else you want to say about episode 4 really quick?
Thought it was a great introduction to Uraraka. She's adorable. Well, I guess she appeared in episode 3, but whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It sets her up, her arc really. Like I immediately enjoyed her character a lot. Like think her power is pretty neat, and I like her character design, so pumped to see more of her.
Yeah, yeah. I look forward to seeing what happens next. Next episode, Tommy Wiseau is their teacher, and
Hell yeah!
I'm looking forward to watching Tommy Wiseau tell them that they're not good enough. So
you're tearing me apart.
Wait till you see my quark.
Oh no! No.
Oh, my acting is so bad. I remove your ability to act.
Wow.
All right. Next topic we have on today's episode of the Velvetcast is Zootopia.
Oh boy.
Okay, so this was Sora's movie choice for the week. Sora, since it was your choice, why don't you give us a description of what happened?
Okay, so Zootopia is a Disney animated movie about a city full of animals, I guess, like animals in modern day society. Our main protagonist is Judy Hopps, who is a bunny that dreams of becoming a police officer and is like pretty much told at every turn that her dream is unattainable because bunnies can't be cops because you need to be a big burly animal and bunnies tiny and small and cute.
Hey, you can't use that word. Sorry. Only rabbits can use that word.
Yeah,
the bunnies can call other bunnies cute.
Yeah. Like, that's our word. Like, oh shit. But anyway, so but she says fuck you and does it anyway, and becomes a police officer, and then she runs into I don't know. I don't want to give a whole entire plot synopsis here. Gets tricked by a fox voiced by Jason Bateman. What is his name? Nick Wilde.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Yeah. And through a series of trials and tribulations, they have to go on an investigation to find this missing otter that turns out to be a bunch of like linked to all these other different missing animal cases that all link to this giant conspiracy theory of having a race war between predator animals and prey animals, and it gets real deep real fast. Like it's crazy, but it's fun and it's always upbeat, and that's why I really enjoyed it. I don't know, what do you guys think of this movie?
This is one of my favorite Disney films of all time.
Yeah, dude, it's up there, man. Like, holy shit.
The first time I watched it, I remember talking about it. I don't think we were doing Velvetcast at the time, but I remember talking about it at some point with on the show, I think, where it was like, Zootopia is a movie that I feel like kids should watch. Like,
absolutely.
I remember expressing to Maddie before that, like, I was just really happy that there was a movie that, because it's a topic that no one wants to talk about, and like differences and prejudice and stuff like that are topics that we don't want to talk about in front of kids, but it's something that they will inevitably have to deal with in some way, shape, or form. And I think that having the groundwork, even if it's a kid's film, being told that racism is bad, like, who knows? For some people, it might be their first time hearing it.
It's strange that, like, it's a thing where, we might actually need to tell people this. Like, I always thought it was a foregone conclusion that people are told throughout their lives racism is bad.
Well, yeah.
But, recent events maybe say otherwise.
Yeah. Well, and so I guess to me, this movie kind of reminded me of like a more refined version of the childhood story that taught me that racism was bad was the Dr. Seuss story, the Sneetches. I don't even know if you guys remember that story at all. It's basically like the fantastical race of Sneetches that they ran through this machine and that gave them like star stickers basically, and then like people with more stars started hanging out with people with less stars, and it basically that was what introduced the concept of racism to me, and I was like 5, and that was kind of what imprinted me on me I can't judge people by how they look, by things they can't control themselves, you know what I mean, like the not judging people by the color of their skin, obviously. And this kind of, I feel like this movie has a really solid message, and it tells it really well in the fact that it's the main character that has to adjust their worldview, right? Like Judy Hopps is the one that has prejudice that has to kind of have her worldview adjusted, right?
Yeah.
Where I feel like there's a lot of kids movies where like there's characters that are in the moral grit, like that are morally wrong, that get reformed, but those are usually like the antagonists of the story, or like like maybe a deuterotag, like a side character or something like that. where it's the main character that shows them like, hey, like this is, you know, like this is how you should see the world, you know, but like no, like our main character is the one that has the flawed view, but she's also extremely like likable. Like you would think from the start of the movie, like, oh, like Judy's not a bad person at all. Like she has good morals. She's doing what she thinks is right, but that doesn't mean that she doesn't have flaws in her worldview, you know?
I think what's most compelling about like Officer Hops, you know, is that she is fighting racism or, you know, fighting prejudice in her own way, but at the same time, she's sort of blind to her own prejudices. And I think that's really important to see, I guess. Like, everybody can do a little bit to fight the prejudices they carry inside themselves. We always come with, you know, little things that we assume about other people based on, like, things we know about the world at large. And seeing people for people is really important, I guess, especially now.
I like the fact that the issue isn't black and white. I thought, I'm so subtle. I like the fact that it's not like, it's not like how it's normally depicted in like situations where it's like, I choose not to see through your lens, and then there's always like this southern guy who, like, you know, is blatantly in the wrong all the time about everything. Like I'm glad that, especially because the bully character too, like the bully character, like you see him twice in the movie. And he didn't stay some shitty person. Like, you know, he changed. Like, you know.
Yeah, I loved how like really like accurate of a self-reflection he had. Like you know, like he was the bully. You're talking about the bully Fox character from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like he shows up again, and then he just like immediately apologizes to Judy, be like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I was a real jerk. I had a lot of self-doubt when I was that age, and that manifested into me putting my like aggressing onto others." Like, wow, like. That's like 3 years of therapy right there. That breakthrough, like that's really not, like.
It's like it makes me wonder what happened to this guy to actually like bring him through, because a lot of people don't actually get through that phase.
Oh yeah, I absolutely adore the film for just having all these different characters with differing, like varying degrees of that prejudice, or having varying degrees of like, you know, different viewpoints. You know, I love I love J.K. Simmons in this movie.
I love J.K. Simmons so much. His voice is great.
I love his argument at the very end where he's like, "Oh yes, it's a classic case of doing the wrong thing for the right reason."
Yeah.
But the film overall is super solid. It's a very fun watch. We watched it again last night. By the way, for those of you who are unaware, we do, if you're not part of the Discord, totally join, because every Saturday after the Saturday streams around 10 o'clock p.m. EST, we watch the movie that we did talk about today on Sunday. The movie also just has some really solid jokes. I like how do I word this? You hear the phrase tossed around like, you know, fun for the whole family, or, you know, like a E for everyone kind of rating or something like that. But I genuinely feel like this is a film for everyone. Like sometimes you get that like phrase kind of thrown around and it means nothing. But like I'm 25 years old and I still enjoyed this film. You know, I didn't feel like it was a super kiddies film or
it's a cliche to call something fun for all ages, but I do think there's something for everybody, especially unfortunately in today's climate. This remains a pretty solid message.
Well, what's interesting also is because it's an animals thing by Disney. You know, there are a lot of jokes in there that are sort of, if you think about them, most kids aren't going to get them. And a lot
the
of
Breaking Bad joke.
Yeah, stuff like that. It's like, you know, this drug factory, and it's like, it's super real, and you think, wow, for a moment.
Well, I like to point out the fact that when I remember when I first was talking about this film, the thing I always bring up is the fact that I absolutely adore the fact that kids are smarter than like we give them credit.
Oh, absolutely.
And I really love the fact that I feel like this film treats kids with that level of like understanding. Like it doesn't spoon feed the message. I like how like when the movie came out too, there everyone's like, "Oh, I knew the twist. I saw it coming," and like I said, I'm like, "Haha, I didn't see it either." Or like, "Haha, I saw it coming too," and like I knew deep in my heart that I clearly didn't see it coming. I didn't. I will blatantly admit that I didn't see it coming. Like it.
You know, I honestly felt sorry for the villain a little bit.
I did, and then she said the line where it was like, I can use fear to control, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, well, bullshit. That's a bit on the nose in a way that I can't, like, you know, like, yeah, people need to hear, like, that's a very real thing, you know, like,
I mean, I liked her characterization before she came out as, like, the villain.
Oh, sure.
You know,
yeah.
you do see that she's sort of marginalized and, like, pushed around.
Oh, yeah,
like,
she absolutely has a huge chip on her shoulder, and her motivations are clear, and it makes sense, right? And I guess I do feel bad a little bit, but it's like, all right, well, using fear to control people, like, now you're just going full Liam Neeson on us. Like, ugh.
It's like Judy Hopps if, you know, she'd been beaten down by the system too long.
Yeah, right. And climbed as far as she could to not reach her ideals. But yeah.
I also... Can I just say what, like, an awesome voice cast this movie has?
Like, oh, yeah.
I love that Idris Elba is just the fucking he's just the fucking police chief.
Chief Bogo.
Yeah, fucking I love everyone they got. Like all the voices are very solid. When I actually heard who was playing Nick, I actually was it took me a second because the last movie I think I saw him in before seeing Zootopia was a movie called The Gift. Which, by the way, if you guys are into interesting thrillers and dramas, totally check that movie out. It's fucking great. Totally not related to Zootopia, and it is totally a way darker film, but it is a very solid film.
I think one thing I have to give Zootopia credit for is when you know, Gazelle starts to talk about, you know, all these unfortunate things happening. She sounds totally as insincere as any real celebrity talking about these things.
Oh my god, yes. Yes. That's what I thought too. I was like, all right, this is a bad voice. Well, wait a minute, maybe it's not bad voice acting at all. Holy shit!
No, we've crossed like over like twice now. Oh, this isn't bad voice acting. This is intentionally bad acting.
Shakira. Yeah, no, it's just like I said, the film's really solid. If you guys have not checked it out yet, it's available on Netflix. It's visually super fun. I love the world that they made for this.
Yeah,
film.
It was a really neat idea to have all the different biomes and like city districts basically. So it gave it the movie a solid excuse to like have a lot of visual variety. Like you had like the main metropolitan area where city like District 0 or whatever, like that's, you know, like the main city area. And then you had like the rainforest area and the tundra area and the desert area. It was cool. It's almost like a video game, but like, you know, well done and it you know, believable in a weird way.
You know, I think Disney has been doing pretty well for itself, trying like you know, rehabilitate its image from back in like the 60s, I guess, where you know it did have sort of, you know, conservative like politics in its main messaging, I guess.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. I don't know. I think Disney's trying to come from a new place of like inclusivity. You know, like that's been kind of like their driving force behind most of the recent movies I feel like I've seen, and this one kind of executes on that definitely. Very well. So, yeah, I'm really happy with this one. Honestly, this is like a Pixar quality level movie. Like, I'm surprised that it's not from Pixar themselves. Although I think John Lasseter is a producer on this one. I don't know. I need to look that up. But yeah.
Man, to be honest, I think that's all I really have to, it's hard to talk about a film when everything like clicks.
When what?
when everything clicks. So like if
I mean, you know, there was one thing that didn't click.
What was it for you?
Try Everything.
Oh no, Try Everything. We ruined Try Everything.
I think it's mostly like, you know, like there is this sort of like really pop culturally sort of like it's glitzy glammy. Like I don't like how what's the word for it? It's it's a little bit cringy to see like, you know, pop culture sort of barefacedly like slapped onto a movie like this, I guess.
Yeah, you know, I will agree with you on that. That would be the one weak point I would say with the film was the character Gazelle in general, like, and have like it's like the inclusion made it feel. I will say it did add a flavor to the world, but it was not a flavor we needed. Because the movie has this high note that it ends on, and then it cuts to them at the concert that Gazelle was putting on.
Yeah, it's like the movie's contemporary enough in its themes. It doesn't need something that will, just age it as like it grows older.
Oh man, but yeah. So try everything, guys. Try everything. And if you want to hear the continuation of that joke, you should join our Discord. As I pull out like a card, you should join our Discord where we do voice chats and stuff and all that crap. But anyways, that was supposed to be a joke and it came off more real than I thought it was going to. Is there anything else that we want to add? Because I think we kind of said everything about the film.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not much to say when this movie is so, like, you should just watch the movie and see for yourself if you haven't yet.
If you have kids, buy a DVD of this, or Blu-ray, I guess, but totally show it to your kids.
Oh yeah, or if you just have Netflix. What I might start assigning every week is I might just be like, all right, pick a line that you, like, what's your favorite line from this movie? Because I think my favorite line is the dad being like, "Oh, she's not a real cop."
Yeah, the buddy dad had some great lines right at the beginning. He was just like, "It's great to have dreams as long as you don't believe in them too hard."
You do what your mom and I did. Settle.
Yeah, right.
We settled hard.
We settled hard.
Oh, it was so bad. It was such a good joke. Like, oh my god, but
it's a little too real.
Yeah, no, but
it's way too real.
Seriously, next week, let's kind of start this assignment thing where like we gotta find our favorite lines from a movie because I think that'll be fun.
Okay.
Also, try everything is pretty great, but that's a Discord thing. All right. So that kind of finishes up our regular stuff for this week. So now we're going to talk about
who's next.
We're going to start. Okay. So, So what's next is Junkenstein.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is general topics are purposely supposed to be brief. So if you guys do not know in the channel, me, Josh, and Sora are huge Overwatch fans. I only really wanted to bring up Junkenstein because we are going to do a video for it later, either next week or this week. It'll go up, but we obviously have to record it first. What's your guys' new favorite costume?
Oh, it's easily the Zenyatta cultist skin for sure. I need that Cthulhu Zenyatta so bad. I need it.
Sorry, I just need to get my Zarya skin.
Oh yeah,
the Zarya skin is also so good. Fuck.
I super.
I'm 20 credits away from getting it.
Oh, that's whoa!
Wow,
Jesus.
It's like I fucking got a loot box with gold in it. And I thought, oh man, I can buy it now. And then it's like a 10 credit loot box or whatever, or a 10 credit thing. And it's like, what? No.
I think my favorite skill, the Zenyatta one is really, really solid. I love that because I was talking to our dungeon master Kawakami about it because he's also a huge Overwatch fan, and apparently some of the voice lines are changed for that skin.
Really?
Instead of saying embrace tranquility, he'll say embrace nothingness.
Nice.
And so and there's other lines like that. I also noticed the way that his arms are set up for some of his stuff, they're actually the tentacles and stuff. That is one of the most solid skins. But if I had to pick, honestly, and I know this is gonna sound lame, but I really like Vampire. I really like Vampire Reaper. I don't even play Reaper, but I love Vampire Reaper.
It's a pretty good skin.
Because I love the openness. He's always wearing a hood, but I love for once he's not, and it's a full head casing. And so it's just I don't know what it is about that skin, but I really like it. I also like McCree a lot.
Yeah, McCree one, the Vampire Hunter, is surprisingly cool looking. I'm not usually a big McCree guy, but that's probably my favorite skin of his so far. Maybe next to the summer one.
No, the summer one's pretty solid, but for other reasons. Yeah, no, I didn't want to really go into it super hardcore for Junkenstein because we are doing a video of it. I just wanted to bring it up, let everyone know that that's the thing. We are aware. There is Junkenstein.
It's gotten me back into the game way more than the summer. The summer event rolled around, I was actively kind of avoiding Overwatch. Not actively avoiding, but I was like, no, you know what? I'm not gonna do this one. Like, I'm not gonna do this event. I'm not feeling it this time. But like, I don't know what it is about Junkenstein. Maybe it's because I took a break from Overwatch, but now I'm feeling it again. I'm playing with some friends, and it's a good time. Haven't gotten any skins yet, but it's a good time.
Yeah, and that's all we have to say about Junkenstein. You'll find out more about Junkenstein later in the week or next week. Which leads us into so the order that we're gonna go in is Sora, you're first, Josh, and then me.
Oh shit. Okay, cool. So my general topic, right? So let's see. Through the past week, up until like 6 hours ago, I was playing Uncharted 4. So for those that don't know, Uncharted's a game, like it's a PS4 exclusive series done by Naughty Dog, the guys who did Crash Bandicoot. Like they've been with PlayStation for a while. They have a huge pedigree. They did Crash Bandicoot, then Jack and Daxter, and just like, you know, all around really, really solid developer. They also did obviously Last of Us as well, which is like kind of hailed as like one of the defining games of last generation, which I kind of tend to agree with. I don't know, like, so from the top, neither of you two have played a single Uncharted game, right?
I have not.
Okay,
that's a no.
Yeah. Okay. So like basically the entire thesis statement of this Uncharted trilogy as a whole is like, hey, what if Indiana Jones was a video game? Like, what if we just did that? So like the first Uncharted was like kind of Naughty Dog's test with like, you know, like trying to make as much of a cinematic experience as possible in a video game, and you know, accomplished it pretty okay for the time. And then like, and I entered the series with 2, which a lot of people think is the best. And like that game kind of introduced like it's what got me into the series, and that it's just a really solid like hard, like adrenaline fueled like adventure that's also extremely on rails. So it's like, wow, like I'm doing this crazy cool shit because the game the game wants me to do it, I guess. Like, oh, like you'll be like, you know, like in a helicopter chase sequence where you're jumping around from building to building and like scrambling to find like a grenade launcher to shoot at the rocket and like, or shoot at the helicopter and bring it down. Then you have to vault over like the spinning blades of the helicopter, and it's all very on rails. Like it's not like, you know, but it's all super immersive and trying to get you to feel like you're doing all of this crazy shit. And so like the first 3 games, like you're following, you know, Nathan Drake, and it's all, you know, very popcorn. It's a popcorn action blockbuster film, you know, like the story is fun, the writing is solid, but it doesn't take itself too seriously, and there's not a lot of pathos to it, as it were. You know, it's very like, you know, like Nathan will just like, you know, gun down a bunch of dudes, and then he'll just crack like a one-liner or whatever, and like it's fine. Like everyone just shrugs it off, like, oh, Nate's such a good guy, even though he like is murdering like hundreds of people literally to just find some treasure in a lost city or whatever, right? And then Last of Us happened, and then that was kind of like Naughty Dog. That was like kind of the proof that Naughty Dog could take a game, like could make a very serious game and a very serious commentary on violence in video games. Mitch, I think did you play Last of Us, or did you watch a playthrough or something?
I watched the playthrough of it because I am a giant coward.
So, but you've seen Last of Us, so you know like what that game was going for. You know,
oh, absolutely, yes, of course.
So that game to me felt almost like a reversal of Uncharted, where like Uncharted is a very realistic setting but telling you a fantastical story, whereas Last of Us, which is about zombies, like a zombie apocalypse, a very fantastical setting but telling a very grounded and real story, a very human story. And so the interesting thing about Uncharted 4 was that the directors of The Last of Us are what came on for Uncharted 4. Like Uncharted, like they're directing their first Uncharted game here. So I was kind of curious as to see like how it would balance, like, and they were like also like advertising is like, this is the end of Nathan Drake's story, like he's not coming back from this one, like, you know, they're trying to like imply that he's going to die or something like that, but like basically like this is going to be the last, like this is going to be the final story for Nathan Drake, he's done after this. The game is called Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. So I guess in the top, like this is my favorite Uncharted game, and this might, I don't know, it's like very close to Last of Us for me in terms of my favorite Naughty Dog game. Just because it really straddles the line of having a fun action game that's like a lot, like it was fun, and I was like, oh, my heart was pumping. It's like, oh man, it feels like a great fun and Uncharted game. You have a grapple hook. You're on a pirate island looking for pirate treasure, and you're swinging around, like you can swing to like ledges and like shoot dudes in the air, like while you're hanging from a rope and stuff, and swashbuckling pirate shit, and it's bombastic and it's fun. but it's also really well written in the fact that the characters actually feel grounded, they feel human, and it feels like there's a weight to the proceedings, right? Like this game treats these characters that we followed, like Nathan, Sully, Elena, like these characters that we've followed for the past 3 games, and treats them with huge amount of respect, and which in a way that I think is really, really cool. It's almost kind of a shame that these guys didn't, that Neil Druckmann and Bruce Straley, I think is their names, they didn't get to direct more Uncharted games. But overall, like I actually, Mitch, frankly, I think I would recommend you check this out. Honestly, like it feels like if the Uncharted games were like if Uncharted 1 through 3 were like the original X-Men 1 through 3. This is like the closest thing to Logan. I've realized I've made that analogy like 4 times now to like get you to try something out. But this feels like, you know, something with some weight to it. You know?
Hey, I mean, let me put it this way: I'm starting to become more open towards taking game recommendations. I mean, for fuck's sake, I bought The Witcher.
To pivot for a second, how did you like The Witcher? I saw that you streamed a little bit. You posted some clips and stuff.
Did you see the clip I posted?
Yeah, I did.
It was real bad. No. How do I word this? I super fucking enjoyed it. I feel like it's one of those things where I haven't had a day off. Okay, I bought it on Friday and I have not had a day off to like sit and play a game for a while. And everyone told me the first thing I had to do was I have to play all these side quests before I do anything else. So right now that's what I'm doing. But to be honest with you, in the stream they told me to play the game on a higher difficulty, and I actually ended up lowering it which I had to fight myself on, because I was like, oh no, am I going to be a huge coward and back down? Looks like I am. And because I don't know, I think I'm bad at games. I think I'm slowly but surely realizing that I am not as like it's not that I never thought I was good at games, but like maybe I'm not like good at games. Like I feel like the threshold for what is considered good like increased while I was away playing Final Fantasy 13 or something, and like both 13 and 14. Like
I feel like it's Dark Souls is leaking.
Yeah. So I think Witcher 3 is kind of a different game that you're used to playing. I feel like, you know, like because it's kind of, I don't know, it controls kind of wonky in my opinion. So, and B, it's one of those games where you need to play it exactly how you want to play it. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't want to be too aggressive about this, but like, if you want to do side quests, do the side quests. If you don't want to, then don't. You know, like I think what I hear a lot of people do is like they end up trying to do every single side quest and they end up burning themselves out on the game because there's
cards on the table. I'm about to burn myself out on the game, and it's only been
right.
like 2
so
days.
Like, if you want to just progress the story or something, just do it. You know, like it. If you do all the side quests, you'll be massively over-leveled for anything the main story throws at you. So don't worry about it from that angle. Just go at it at your own pace. Exactly. Like, if you want to mainline the story, it's still a great story, and I think absolutely worth playing. But there are some really great side quests. But the best part about it is that you're discovering it for yourself. Like, that's, like, you know, like, it would be like if you played Zelda, and if you were starting to play Zelda, and I was like, all right, hey, Mitch, before you even go out to this area, make sure you find all of the shrines and all of the Korok seeds.
Oh, that would have burned me the fuck out. Yeah.
Right. Like, so just, you know, you do you. You know, you do you. It's, yeah, I don't know. And you don't have to like Uncharted. You don't have to like Witcher 3 either. Like, if it ends up not being your thing, that's totally okay too. But
no, that's the thing. Like, I'm not really into this type of fantasy. But
sure.
but at the same time, like I do enjoy like his name's Geralt, right?
Geralt.
Geralt. Okay.
Yes.
Geralt. I am enjoying him for what it's worth. I think that the world has me fascinated. I'm interested to see where this goes. Not to mention, it was a recommendation from you and Kawakami, so like at the very least, I will try my best to get through the game. I may not, if I don't like it, I will probably not do the expansion packs. But at the same time, like I don't know. I mean, if I was able to get through Final Fantasy 15, no, no. I loved 15. 15 was fun. Like I will play this game, and then I think there's. I don't think there's another game on my list. So if there's anything, I know the channel. Spoiler alert: we're playing Danganronpa at some point. But like obviously there's how do I word this? All of our plans got really fucked, man. So
Sure.
like
Yeah.
it's just a matter of trying to like figure everything out. But anyways, back to Uncharted.
Back to Uncharted, I guess. I really enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. I have also the physical version, so like whenever I visit, I can just bring my copy of the game with me. Because the biggest thing is that I'm probably done with this game now. I've played through it once, at least for a long time. Like I've played through Uncharted 2 like 3 times maybe, and that's like over the course of like, oh wow, holy shit, almost like 7 years at this point, holy shit. But anyways, I'm definitely good on it for a while, so I'll probably just let my copy to you if you want to check it out. It's a lot of fun, and the writing is really, really solid. Even if you're not as familiar with the characters, I think they're all simple, and simple's kind of a bad word, I guess, for them, but like they're archetypical enough, right? Like where you kind of understand where they're coming from, So yeah, it was a fun ride, highly recommended. But I guess people who were interested in it probably played it when it came out 1.5 years ago. But whatever. I really enjoyed my time with it. It's probably my favorite Uncharted. Almost up to Last of Us levels in terms of my favorite Naughty Dog game. So yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, that leads us into Josh's topic, which I gotta go into OBS. And aha! Oh, damn it! Aha! There we go.
Yeah.
Josh, you watched Jaden Smith's Neo Yokio.
Is that the actual subtitle for the show? Jaden Smith's Neo
No,
Yokio?
no, it's not. It's just called Neo.
I mean, it might as well be, but like, I wouldn't be surprised if it were. God damn it!
Oh,
yeah.
All right, so
world do we live in?
So here's the deal. This was something that was okay. There was 1,000 series that have been recommended to me, and this has been recommended to me as a pure garbage fire to watch. And I wanted to know, Josh, you normally are the person that, like, I joke at the idea that I don't watch anything you recommend, but, like, at the same time, like, is this something that you would, like, what are your thoughts? You care, how to word this? Out of all 3 of us, your tastes for anime and animation are way higher than mine or Sora's, I feel.
Just a sec.
Oh, there we go. That's it. That's the sound effect I was hoping for. Yeah.
God.
Yeah. No, that's real now.
Well, no, I don't have a beer in front of me. Unfortunately, I'm inside a church right now, so this is just a Coke. But Neo Yokio, yeah. So the show's a meme. Pretty much. I know the show, or I heard about the show from just people like by reputation, I guess. Somebody who I know, who I respect their taste, sort of said, "Oh yeah, Neo Yokio is interesting. It's sort of funny." And then somebody started posting Neo Yokio on like my Facebook, telling me, "Oh yeah. This show is trash," and I laughed when there's this like YouTuber named Gigook who's pretty big in the anime community, and he did like a review for Neo Yokio. And he mentioned Sakuga, and it's like, oh my god, they mentioned Sakuga in this review. What the fuck? I have to watch this thing.
Oh no.
So I went into it pretty much blind. Wasn't expecting much because I saw how wide the opinions on it were, and I watched the first episode and I thought, so either this show is like way too smart for me and I'm not getting it, or it's garbage. Honestly, I think the answer to it is a bit of both. It's garbage, but also it has something. It's operating on another level slightly. So for those who don't know, Neo Yokio is a Netflix, quote fingers anime about a young rich scion of a wealthy exorcist family in what's, an alternate universe, New York. And the main character is voiced by Jaden Smith, who I think is actually not a bad voice actor.
Interesting. Wasn't this also created by what's his fucking name? Ezra Koenig, the guy from Vampire Weekend, right? Like, what
Like,
the fuck?
I don't know very much about the production history of the show,
Okay.
honestly. The first thing that jumped out to me about the show was that their mouse flaps are like the mouse flaps in like Zone of the Enders 2, if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Like the really, really, really fast mouth flaps that like get really distracting. But I think going on into it, it's something where it reminded me a lot of like Ruby, I guess, in certain respects. As in like the first season of Ruby, where it sort of delved into like those, you know, well-trodden anime conventions, where it's like it felt like someone played a game of corporate telephone, where somebody, you know, like went into like a boardroom and you know, like tried to describe anime to somebody to like make secondhand. So, you know, it's animated and you know, there are cute girls and the main character is overpowered and all this other stuff, you know, like laundry list of details. But at the end of the day, I think that, you know, it's very much a Western cartoon that, you know, sort of pays lip service to being anime.
Are you? Did you expect that this is what the legacy of Legend of Korra and Kappa Mikey?
Oh no. Not Kappa Mikey. No.
Maybe this is what, you know, what we get. Like because of like Gigook's like review, a lot of the people who talk about the show talk about it like it is an abridged series for a show that doesn't exist. And I think that's an interesting way to look at it. I think I would have enjoyed the show a lot more if I had looked at it that way from the outset, instead of having like, you know, waited until I finished the show to like look up other reviews of it. But I think that it's good for watching if you're drunk or with a whole bunch of friends and you can laugh about it. I feel like it's also not meant for me. It's written in this way where it's like, you know, it talks a lot about what seems to be like New York culture and like things that New Yorkers might be more prone to knowing that I, as a Midwesterner country bumpkin, don't really understand. That and they talk about fashion nonstop, and it's like, I couldn't care less about this shit. It's like, why? It's like it takes up more than like 70% of the screen time, it feels.
Really? Fashion?
Them just talking about, you know, like fashion or high society, and it's like, oh my god, what the hell?
You don't care? How could you not care?
I know. How can I not care about, you know, Ralph and like Chanel and fucking... It's like it talks, you know, a whole bunch of it's all referential humor and all like sort of stuff that lands based on whether or not you know what they're talking about, I guess. And I think, you know, the people who made it were pretty passionate about it. You don't go dropping, you know, references to Neuromancer in the middle of a series, you know, offhandedly as a one-time joke without, you know, having some kind of love for the medium. But at the same time, I think, you know, it's not going to be for everyone, especially people who don't want to, I mean, I guess what it is like, I felt like I sort of wasted a lot of time with Neo Yokio. It's just not my kind of humor. But there, like, if you enjoy the abridged series style of humor, I think, you know, it's something that could be up your alley.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like I'm okay skipping this one at this point.
I feel like I have too much on my plate to care.
Yeah, right? Like, it's just like... maybe if I get belligerently drunk and I need to watch something, maybe I'll do it.
I think, though, it's interesting
You'd
to
have
see
more
that,
fun
you know...
doing... You'd have more fun doing Space Patrol Luluco.
Oh my god, yes. Shit. Man. What's funny is I I would guess that Space Patrol Lulico was probably made on like a similar or lower budget than this.
Oh, probably much lower.
But it's something where I feel like it's interesting to just look at as like an artifact of our time. I don't know if it'll ever age well, or if it'll just become like an entrenched meme like Ghost Stories and like Garci's Wing. Which I've avoided both, unfortunately, because I don't really like that kind of stuff. Like, you know, it's the stuff where it's like you watch it when you are the kind of person who likes stuff like watching The Room or watching Plan 9 from Outer Space. It's that kind of view, I guess, where it's like, it's almost inadvertently funny because it's just so absurdly bad. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting seeing how we look back on the series and whether or not it's going to have a lasting, you know, impression on anime discourse going forward, especially on like Western-made animation, because it is, you know, one of the first forays into this, you know, aside from Castlevania from Netflix.
I actually haven't seen Castlevania.
Castlevania looks like it has some actual Sakuga in it, so I'm personally going to check it out just to see the beautiful fight scenes.
There is some fucking great action scenes in that, and that, what is it? It's like only 4 episodes long too, so it doesn't really take long to get to the good stuff. So
yeah. So I'm definitely going to watch it eventually, but
watch it for Halloween. It's a good spooky Halloween thing to watch.
Shit, that's right. Fuck, I should. Yeah. Thanks for the recommendation, Sora.
No problem. They need to make
it. Yeah, that's about it for Neo Yokio on my part. I'm sorry to be such a downer about it, I guess.
No worries.
There's no reason to apologize for your experience.
We to be frank, the last things we've been talking about have been super, like, almost overly positive. Like, oh, I love this thing. Oh, I love that thing. Oh, this thing's great. Oh, fucking Neo Yokio, though. Fuck,
yeah, no, yeah. Like,
it's good. We need to shake it up.
So, Josh, do you have any final closing thoughts on your watch of?
Neo Yokio definitely did its job. I want to eat Toblerones now.
I kind of do too, and I hate that.
I really think this is just a pseudo underground Spec Ops campaign to get people to buy.
Oh yeah, but it's like, holy shit.
Well,
I really want to have Toblerones.
The problem is every time I hear Toblerone, I think Torbjorn.
Yeah. Yep.
Because I jokingly call him Toblerone all the time. Sorry.
I just want that Toblerone, man.
All right.
Want it inside me.
God damn. Okay. We're entering the last conversation topic, which is on Friday, or not on Friday, on Saturday before the Saturday stream, I went to go see the movie The Foreigner. And this isn't a giant, big, like, crazy cut the camera review. Like, I don't give a shit. The movie is super great. If you haven't seen it, go see it. But I need to emphasize this for everyone who intends to go see the movie. It is not an action film. It is a drama with action in it. and I cannot emphasize that enough, because I know for some people, like, I went to go see it with a couple of friends, and I super loved the film. I thought it was really, really fun. But it's because I like dramas and I like that kind of thing. I love Pierce Brosnan does an awesome job in his acting, which is funny because when we were leaving the theater, I made a comment about how Pierce Brosnan played an Irishman, and his accent, maybe it wasn't the accent, but the way he looked, like Pierce Brosnan ironically looks like Sean Connery a little bit. just a little bit. And Jackie Chan's acting chops really fucking show in this film. There's a scene where he cries, and I cried because he was crying, and I was like, like it's his acting is so fucking good, and I know that a lot of people are dismissing this film as it was advertised to be Jackie Chan Taken, and it is not that at all. I'm
one of those people who thought that would be Jackie Chan Taken. It's sort of like cheaply punched out.
No, and that's the thing. Like I cannot emphasize enough how much effort and work went into this film, and like Jackie Chan clearly cares about this film. Like his acting is great. Like him and Brosnan are both fucking phenomenal actors in this film. And when I say that, I mean like their chops are on display. and as anyone who's listened to this cast before can tell you, like, I am a huge fan of like really, really well done acting. But to emphasize the fact that this is a drama with action scenes in it changes up the pace of it, because when there is an action scene in it, it really, you can feel the impact of everything that happens. Oh my god, yeah, no, there's this one very specific moment near the end of the film where I won't go into it, but like there's an impact sound, and because throughout the entire movie you haven't heard an impact sound like that before, it's like, oh shit, like, oh, like it's like, oh, like I was taken aback by it. Like, the film is great, and maybe I'm overhyping it, but like I kind of just wanted to say real quick, like, it's not Taken. It is not an action film. It is its own movie. It's very almost depressing at times. Chan is a broken man in this one. And like, unlike some films where it's like he's a broken man, but he's out for vengeance, so he still carries some level of charisma, Chan is just a broken man in this one. And it is very sad to watch. But that being said, quite a note to end it on today.
But you would recommend it?
Oh yeah, if you love dramas, and if you love a good drama, or you're in the mood for something that like will something of substance, I guess is a good way of putting it. Like, I don't see this movie winning like an award anytime soon, because I don't feel like it's that type of film. But like, if you're into like good, like watching two performances that are really interesting, check this film out. I can genuinely say that like after Mamma Mia, no, no, that I'm very happy I went to go see that film, and it's a great change of pace, especially because the last couple of movies I've been seeing at the theaters were Hitman's Bodyguard, Kingsman 2, a lot of these films that are more action buddy, fun films, and it was really great to kind of take a step back and watch kind of a more dramatic film.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a total recommendation.
It's something interesting that I noticed. It's like, so there are the Taken films, and then like Taken-like films from like outside of America,
like a Dark Souls-like.
Better. Yes, like a Souls-like, but with Taken. And it's like the Taken-like films are always better than actual Taken. Because from what you were saying, it seems like The Foreigner is like, just a better movie than Taken was.
Oh yeah.
And like, there was this one Korean movie from like 2010 called Man from Nowhere, and it's pretty much got like the same premise as Taken, except it's executed so much better, and it's got such fucking good like pathos and like such great action scenes in it. It's like, fuck, why do people settle for like Liam Neeson just doing shaky cam scenes?
Well, it's because it's Neeson, Like that's the answer is it's because it's Neeson, and Neeson sells.
It wasn't a big meme like until the first Taken film, though.
Oh yeah, but there's something about Taken that like resonates with people, I think, and that's why like one of my concerns is that I had such a great time with The Foreigner, but like because the marketing of this film made it seem like it was going to be a Taken like more Taken than drama. I'm worried that people are not going to like this film because they were misled, and it was just really nice to see a film of this type in theaters, and I don't know. God, I'm going to be in the movies a lot the next couple of months. I just realized that.
I actually think I heard a NPR interview with Jackie Chan where they sort of talked a little bit about the film, and it's like it seems like Jackie Chan now is getting a little bit more concerned about his lasting legacy, I guess.
He made 200 films, man.
But I think he doesn't want to just be known as like the action guy. He wants to be known for having like actual like dramatic chops now.
Oh my god! If you want to cry alongside Jackie Chan in a movie, then this is your movie. Whew. Oh, it's bad, guys. It's real. I mean, it's great, but it's bad.
It's good to hear that like the movie doesn't rely on like cheap emotional like sort of stabbed
No.
at you.
Oh my god. Okay. Maybe this is getting a little personal, but whatever. It's important to note. Okay, so it's not a spoiler. It happens at the very beginning of the movie, and it's one of the advertised bits. So Jackie Chan's daughter is killed in an explosion. That's the whole thing that starts this movie, right?
Yeah,
and it's like the brickwork. It's what starts this whole adventure. And one of the everything Chan does, and everything like that depression, the level of just the emotionlessness, the everything he does, and especially in one of the first scenes you see him, the explosion happens, it cuts to watching a photographer take pictures of because he works for the paper or something, and he starts taking pictures of all these different people who are in pain, and you just see Jackie Chan holding his dead daughter in his arms, crying, and I'm like, oh god, it was so bad. It was so fucking sad. Because I feel like maybe a part of this is because we grew up with Jackie Chan being the action guy. He was in fucking Shanghai Nights and
that movie. That's the first movie you think about.
Shanghai Nights.
Fuck man. I'm going to disown you as a friend. Fucking find a good Jackie Chan movie. God damn it.
No,
next you're going to say you're going to what? Are you going to say Medallion now?
Jackie Chan's magnum opus, Shanghai Nights.
No, because that's the problem. I saw an interview of him the other day, and of the 200 films, they said Shanghai Nights, so that was the first. Because I didn't think about it, but I guess that's the one that everyone knows.
Yeah, that's kind of sad. That is the one Jackie Chan movie I saw in theaters. Everything else I've seen on DVD.
Well, I didn't see Rush Hour in theaters.
Right, I never saw it. I had to see Rush Hour later, yeah.
But that's the thing. He was also in that one with Jet Li, and I'm trying to remember what it was.
The Forbidden Kingdom.
Yeah, I saw that one.
The movie with way too few fight scenes.
Yeah. You'd expect there to be more. You know what you're going in the theater for, and it did not deliver. But the point is that Chan can act. He very much can act, and it hit home in certain spots, and watching him emotionlessly conduct, watching him in that deep depression, and whoever did the makeup on him was fucking fantastic. He looks miserable. There's a scene where there's everything in the beginning is just so fucking, it's so down, it's so depressing, and it makes you feel for his character, and you find out all this other stuff about him as the movie goes on, and even though it starts to take steps that seem like it's gonna it would be like a Taken movie, it's no, they tell you that information not because it's gonna be taken, but because it makes the story even sadder, and it just keep it it's just But honestly, it's a total recommendation. Go see it if you're in the mood for a not a fun film, but a good film, like a film. If you're in the mood to not eat a cheeseburger, but to eat some to eat a good vegetable stir fry. That's what this movie is. It's as I say that because I just had that for dinner.
A really nice, plump baked potato with everything on it.
Yeah,
just feel full.
Yeah, you there's the nice that nice satisfaction of eating something worth it, But anyways, guys, that ends today's episode of the Velvetcast.
Oh, podcast questions?
Oh no, we do have one. We have one.
All right.
Oceano asks, "Have you guys watched The Reflection? I think it was made with Marvel's help because Stan Lee is the announcer at the beginning and end of episodes." Okay, Stan Lee has been helping produce some Japanese titles here and there. There's the first one that comes to mind is Hero Man, I think.
Yep. Is that still
that's
is
old.
that manga still going or no?
No, you're thinking of Ultimo.
Oh,
man. Ultimo. I haven't heard that in a long time.
Yeah, no, Ultimo was Ultimo is I think it's still ongoing because they only release one chapter every 3 months. It's a quarterly magazine, I think it was in, and it's being made there's that project. There was Hero Man, which was the anime, and I always meant to finish it, but I couldn't. I've now when you mentioned The Reflection, I've heard of this. This is not a new one, right? This is an old one.
This is just finished last week.
I've read the myanimelist.net gave it a 5.3 out of 10.
Yeah.
So it looks not good. I've
not heard about it actually, so
I haven't heard about it at all.
I don't know. I don't know how to.
Granted, I am the anime hipster, so there is that.
I don't. You know, I can't. I shouldn't judge something like this like right off the gate. Like I should watch it myself. But the problem is like I feel like the problem like with Ultimo at least I cared because it was the Shaman. It was the Shaman King artist, and the Shaman King artist always draws something like the way that he draws characters and stuff is really great and interesting. And I really like his art style. But then like with Hero Man, it was the same way where I really liked the art style, but it just wasn't compelling. Like I wasn't drawn into it. And like I have this doubt in my mind that like Reflections would be. I don't know. I don't have enough time in the day to just watch any anime I want anymore. I'm not a kid anymore. And so like I feel like if I'm gonna watch something, it has to be, you know, substantial, or it has to be something that's on a list, or something that like, you know, that like people have been recommending me for a while. That way, you know, it's whatever. Or sometimes I'll just watch something because I feel like it, like Voltron season 4. You guys don't watch Voltron, I do, and and you know, I'm gonna watch that. But like when it comes, like I don't know. I didn't see this, and it didn't sound like you guys saw it either. But anyways, guys, I think that's pretty much the end of the episode. So as I'm gonna check the that's it.
I guess before we go, you know, if you want to keep on listening to the podcast and interact with us more, we do have like a lounge chat and podcast questions on our Discord, where you can you know, send in questions to us. We'll also, you know, every once in a while go through like the comments for last week's video to look for questions as well.
Also, if you guys like the podcast, like this video, it tells us what videos we got to promote a bit more. And also subscribe if you haven't already. But also, real quick, we changed up the Patreon rewards, real quick. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna start streaming some series like I said earlier in the episode, Persona 5. I almost said 4. Persona 5 will be one of those things that are, you know, Patreon exclusive, you know, because it's just going to be my Twitch streams. But also the reward for getting, instead of going for how do I word this? What do you call it? Patreon goal? So 20, when we get to 20 patrons, we're actually going to make the Velvetcast and Adventurecast available on a audio platform such as iTunes or SoundCloud. And yeah, I just wanted to let them know about that real quick.
Cool.
So yeah, anyways, guys, next time on the Velvet Room.
Have a good night, guys. Thanks for listening.
You guys take it easy.
Night, y'all.
Here's a trick. Don't drink Diet Pop before a stream. Because all the bubbles like pop up like right at the end of this fucking stream, like right now. Anyways, guys, bye.
Bye.
Yeah, try everything, guys. Bye.
Try everything.